has made explosive, you know this because you wrote it, has made explosive accusations against the Biden administration, accusing it of insane malfeasance in its handling of $20 billion in climate grants. Now, as a legal battle ensues over those funds, many of Mr. Zeldin's claims remain unsupported and some are flat out false. Why wouldn't you write that there is any evidence?
Could you point us to where the judges have found that there's waste, fraud,
Oh,
and
see,
abuse,
it's
sir?
not that easy for you, Lisa. See, because you guys are writing stories. These are your words.
That's a fact, and I hate this. My biggest problem, guys, my biggest problem is misinformation. I hate misinformation.
If the New York Times wants to say that there is no evidence, and Politico wants to say it, and Washington Post wants to say it, and others want to say that there's no evidence. See, I have a job to make sure that I don't waste tax dollars. And then for people in the media to be willing to sacrifice your own integrity and the integrity of your paper to make a claim that there's no evidence supporting it, well, I could stand here before you, and I just went through a list of how many things did I just mention? 10?
So if you guys don't know what's going on here, this is about a Republican congressman who is going off on the press for basically lying to the public. And this is something that I've been not really talking on too much. I've been kind of avoiding it because the tension was high and there was a lot of news going around, and I just wanted to wait till it died down. But ever since Trump has gotten in office, there's been a lot of fear mongering online. There's been a lot of false narratives online. I've seen a lot of things that are just downright not true, and they're being put out by broadstream or public news source. And this is not something that's specific to Trump. When Biden was in office too, there were a lot of stories like that, and I was against it then. So I'm going to be against it now. Just because you dislike Trump and just because you don't agree with Trump doesn't mean that it gives you the right to put out false narratives on Republicans or false narratives on exactly what it's doing. And there's a lot of fear mongering, and I don't even understand why. And he's kind of shining the light on that. A news reporter came to him who was putting out false stories, and he's not having it. He's going against it right now. Let's get into it.
Thanks, Lisa Friedman with the New York Times. Where has a judge said that this is fraud?
I'm saying New York Times said it, Lisa. Lisa, if New York Times is going to write that there is no evidence.
Not true, sir. We've written that that judges have not found.
Okay, over the last
accurate?
few months, Lee Zeldin, administrator of the Environmental Protection Agency, has made explosive, you know this because you wrote it, has made explosive accusations against the Biden administration, accusing it of insane malfeasance in its handling of $20 billion in climate grants. Now, as a legal battle ensues over those funds, many of Mr. Zeldin's claims remain unsupported and some are flat out false. Why wouldn't you write that there is any evidence?
Could you point us to where the judges have found that there's waste, fraud,
Oh,
and
see,
abuse,
it's
sir?
not that easy for you, Lisa. See, because you guys are writing stories. These are your words. These aren't the judge's words.
That's a fact, and I hate this. My biggest problem, guys, my biggest problem is misinformation. I hate misinformation. I don't care if it comes from the left or right, but this has been a big thing that's sprouting out now that Trump is in office, where the left is just putting out lies, or if it's not lies, they're overinflating stories. They're just overinflating it, and they're putting out fear-mongering tactics. That's what it is. It's fear-mongering to the public, and he's exposing it. The fact remains this: Trump won. Whether or not you like Trump or don't like Trump, that's not even what I'm getting at. Trump won for a very real reason. He won the popular vote, or when it came to voting for a president. He has a majority in Congress. He has the majority in the Supreme Court. It's like a full sweep. He won because the heart of what he was saying, a lot of the stuff that he was saying were real issues that were happening. And when you have news stories or news channels or whatever who are completely undermining every action that he's taking, or not even undermining it, or just spreading false narratives on every action that he's taking, you're not helping the people who are against Trump, because they're going to be against him on the premise of lies. You're not helping the people who are for Trump, because they're going to say, okay, this is a lie. Why are you lying to me, trying to manipulate me? Who are you helping when you're spreading these narratives? You're only adding more fuel to the divide that already exists. There's already a huge divide between Republicans and liberals. Why are you increasing this divide and then pretending like you're not when you are confronted by a Republican congressman. It doesn't make sense. Just put out true stories. Put out stuff that's just true. Then let us determine what that means.
So if you want to ask the question, I'm referring to one of your stories. And this came out before the judge's decision came out. Now, if you were to, did you read the judge's 39-page decision?
Sir, with all due
Have you read the
respect,
39-page decision?
We've read the decision. We are basing our reporting on judges' rulings before then and since, and I'm just asking you, sir, where has the judge found that there is waste, fraud, and abuse?
So you read the 39-page decision supporting a preliminary injunction? What? It's okay if you say no.
Yeah, no, I've read all of it.
Okay, that's okay. Nowhere in it does it acknowledge anything that I just said. It doesn't even acknowledge it. So if the New York Times wants to say that there is no evidence, and Politico wants to say it, and Washington Post wants to say it, and others want to say that there's no evidence, see, I have a job to make sure that I don't waste tax dollars. And then for people in the media to be willing to sacrifice your own integrity and the integrity of your paper to make a claim that there's no evidence supporting it, well, I could stand here before you, and I just went through a list of how many things did I just mention? 10? I don't know what the list is. And then you'll go out and write a story saying that there's no evidence of any wrongdoing. I have a duty to make sure that we don't light on fire billions of dollars of tax dollars. And I am, as administrator of EPA, not going to stand before any member of the media and get bullied into lighting billions of dollars on fire. And then you'll continue to write these stories that say that there is no evidence, even though I could stand before you right now and just go through the list.
Bro, I've been saying this. And this is not, I really try not to be biased because that's not what I am. I'm not trying to push a conservative or a liberal narrative to you. I don't care what side of the spectrum you go on. I'm here for free thinking. I'm not even a politician. I'm not even in this. I am an engineer. But there's been a big divide and there's been a real lack of free thinking when it comes to stuff like this. I've seen the left lie about stories. I've seen them lie about it. Flat out just lie and spread false information. Flat out. And this is a big story. There's been a big word about Trump going against the Constitution and doing things against the Constitution and going against judges. That's the big left story now. And I will read up on things Trump is doing. And I'm saying, yes, there are very unorthodox things that he's doing. Unorthodox meaning unusual things. But for you to flat out say he is just completely disregarding the Constitution is just literally false. He's doing things that are going against the norm of what people usually do. And he's trying to find plot holes and doing what he wants to do. That's what he's doing. He's trying to find plot holes. He's using acts that already exist and he's putting his actions within those acts. But you wouldn't know that if you were just listening to left-leaning stories. What you would think is he is a complete tyrant. He's doing what he wants. And they want you to think that because, let's face it, a lot of these places don't want you to know the truth. They don't care if you know the truth. They don't care if you are completely informed. They don't care if you have objective thoughts. They want you to follow what they say. And that's what she's saying. She put out a story on the New York Times saying that what he was doing was unconstitutional and going against the judges. Then he asked her straight, did you even read what the judges said? Did you even read what they said? No, I haven't read it. Then why are you writing stories about it on the New York Times, one of the leading newspapers in the world, and putting out this information for millions of people to see, and you, as a reporter, haven't even read what the judges said? This is crazy. This is a disease, bro. This is crazy. But let me know what you guys think. I don't like it. I don't like misinformation. I think it's stupid. I think we're smart enough to think for ourselves, regardless if you lean left or right. I'm smart enough to think for myself. Let me draw the conclusion on what is happening. But anyways, it's LFR Jojo, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.